So in this video, we are going to look at a Desmos activity called rigid golf transformations. In the second half of Unit 1, we will spend a lot of time exploring the three rigid transformations, which are reflection, rotation, and translation. So one of the activities I begin transformations with is rigid golf. So you click on the link, and it should take you to Amplify or Desmos. You want to click on Log In, and you want to log in with Google and your name. So you're giving it permission in terms of keeping track of things. So click on Continue, and it should let you into the activity. Now, if you already have done this in the previous Desmos activity, hopefully we'll let you get in and take you right to start the activity. So I'm not going to go through all the screens. I just want to talk to you about some of the beginning screens to give you a feel for the activity, and then it's going to be your task to go through and use the different tools to complete this activity in class. So the pre-image, which is the shape you're beginning with, is always in purple, and then the image, that's where you're taking the shape, is always white or not shaded in. So in this activity, you're going to be working on translations, reflections, rotations, and again, you're trying to get the purple object to fit perfectly on top of the unshaded object. Sometimes there are obstacles, so think of a putt-putt golf experience, that sometimes if you hit a golf ball at an obstacle, the ball itself will just hit the object and bounce off. When you're doing this particular activity, I'll demonstrate what happens if you hit the obstacle. So for translation, to translate a shape, if you click on Translate, that's going to provide you what's called a vector. Now the vector itself, you can move the endpoints, and what it will do is it will go in the direction that you point it to. So for example, this particular shape is going to go straight up, and it's going to move a distance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means this point right here will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that point should be right here. At this point, if it goes up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it should be right here. So if I click Try, you'll notice that it just slides the shape up exactly 5. And you can replay any of these, or if you don't like the step that you just completed, you can click on the X here to get rid of it. And so on Translate, you can go any direction you want. It's kind of think of it in terms of slope. If you want to put the point right on one of the vertices of the shape and then point the direction you want to go, you can do that, and it will slide the shape that distance. Now, one of the things about translation, it's kind of like hitting a golf ball and rolling it on the surface. So if I try to take this shape through the obstacle, you'll notice that it breaks apart. So you're not allowed to do that. You cannot break it apart. For rotation, it will give you a point to rotate around, and then this angle measurement right here, you will enter in the angle measurement, and you'll enter in either it's going clockwise, which is the direction the arrow is pointing, or you click here and change it to counterclockwise. You can change it to clockwise, and it will go the number of degrees that you'd like. And again, this point can be moved anywhere you'd like. So, for example, if I would place the point here, and if I want to go 90 degrees clockwise, and the shape will be rotated around this point, it would basically do a quarter of a turn. And so if I click Try, you'll notice that it turned it a quarter of a turn. If I decided to, let's say, move the point here, for example, and I do, let's say, clockwise again, 90 degrees, this time it will, again, a quarter of a turn. So sometimes if you do this, be very careful. Sometimes when you do this, if you put it too far out, let's say to the left or to the right, let's go counterclockwise again, sometimes the shape will fall off the screen, which is one of the reasons why, again, you can reset the step and start all over again. If, for example, you try to set it up so, let's say it goes 90 degrees, let's say somewhere in here, and you clockwise or counterclockwise, let's go counterclockwise this time, and you hit the object itself, again, it will fall apart. So again, even with rotation, if the object hits the obstacle, it will fall apart. For reflection, basically you're reflecting over this line. So for reflection, this point is 2 below the line. So when you reflect it, it'll be 2 above the line. Same thing with this one, 2 below, so it will reflect 2 above. Here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 below, so its reflection will be 2, 3, 4, 5 above. So as I try it, you'll notice it kind of flips over, and again, that's the distances again. So again, on reflection, it's over the line. You can change the position of the line, such as this, for example. And let's say, for example, I reflect it this way, and you lie on top of the shape, the obstacle, again, it will break. Now, it will, for reflection, we move it this way a little bit more, so the reflection goes past the obstacle. You'll notice that if you go past the obstacle, it will not shatter into pieces. So on this first challenge, when you open up the activity yourself, play around with the tools so you feel comfortable with them before moving on. So in this particular problem here, it says use one or more of the transformations to transform the pre-image onto the image. So you're going from the purple to the white. And again, you can do as many different options as you like. So for example, if I want to move the shape, let's say this direction so many, and let's say it's not enough, so you want to do another translation. I'm doing this intentionally, so if I want to do another translation, I can do that. So you can do multiple translations. Let's say, oh gosh, that's too far. Maybe I want to move it back again, so you can do another translation, or you could click on this step here and get rid of it altogether. But let's say I want to go back, and let's say I just want to go back a little bit. Let's say that much. And if you notice that the shape's kind of lined up, so is it possible, again, try to get all of this into fewer steps? The answer is yes. For reflection, we're going to reflect the shape over. So as it stands right now, this is 2 above, so my reflection will be 2 below. This is 2 above, so this will be 2 below. That's different if I were to move the line, let's say, to here. This will go 1 up, so this will go 1 down. So you got to make sure that when you're doing this, that you're kind of thinking about the counting part of it, because a reflection is how far it is away from the line. And if it's in the right position, you reflect it over, and again, you're trying to line up. So you'll notice that they don't line up, so you have to see what you can do differently. So going back to the beginning, I'm going to go ahead and count all these out again and go back to here. I'm going to start off with a rotation. At this time, instead of, rotation this time, let's make this thing rotate 180 degrees. And let's do it, let's say, just 180 degrees right there, for example. I say try it, and you'll notice that the shapes look pretty nice. And let's say I want to translate. So I want to translate that point, let's say to that point, because I want to take the whole shape and move it, and I want that point to be there. So if I click here for again, try it, you'll notice that it lines up. So translations don't have to be horizontal or vertical. You can go slanted. You can place the rotation anywhere you'd like. So if I want to do rotation, I don't have to put it on the shape. I can come out here, let's say a little bit further. And let's do this again, 180 degrees like I did before. And let's go clockwise this time. And if I do that, I got lucky, and on one movement, I was able to get the thing to line up. So the one thing I will see as your teacher when I look at the work that you've done, I will see how many of you were able to, let's say, complete it in 1 step. Some of you, it might take 6 steps to get there. But you always have the option of getting rid of one or all the steps. And so if you're not happy with a step, just delete it and back up and do it again. There are 19 screens here, so this activity is intended to take some time. you will find some of you will get through all of it, others of you may not. So I am hopeful that you will be able to get through most of the steps and most of the screens during class. If you get stuck on something, see if a classmate can help you or the teacher can help you with a particular step. Good luck on this, and we will discuss the activity next week.